I'm not quick enough on the mute. That's right. Scruffy City Aquatics will be part of Fish Fam Christmas this year.
That was a nice little surprise. I didn't know that was going to be popping up. That was pretty cool.
I know. Once it happened, I kind of wish you had been on screen,
Well,
so that
yeah,
people could have saw your reaction because you didn't know about it at all.
I was like,
Um, so the great people over at Fish Fam Christmas put that together, and they sent them out to all the channels. I'm not exactly sure who's doing their videos and such, so I don't know exactly who to thank, but thank you all. I
yeah,
am
that was
having
awesome.
a yeah, it is awesome. And all the channels are sharing them, so you should be able to see all across YouTube the channels sharing that they're part of it. As a matter of fact, I also wanted to show off something about fishfam.link, which we'll do here in a moment. Um, I'm having some technical difficulties. Hopefully, by the beginning of the year, I have things situated. My light went out last week, and I managed to get it to work. Well, this week it's refusing. So that is something I'll have to add. and and because the hat was just messing me up, just making me all gloomy, I had to get rid of it. So y'all get hat hair.
But welcome everybody to the Scruffy City Aquatics live stream. Got Mitch, the main host, and then I guess still the guest slash co-host. But I'm Tanner. But I just want to say welcome to everybody. I know we've got some people in the chat already, but want to thank everybody on the replay crew. We appreciate it. We see that you watch, the live streams, and really appreciate that. But let's go ahead and get on into the chat. Looks like we have Crown Tail Half Moon. Welcome, welcome. Dee Dee's Fin Den. Thanks for joining us. Scotty, the Fish Freak, Lady Rorschach, TJ Autocross, the Zen Ginger, our wonderful mod. Thankful for everything she does. Looks like she's finishing up a lesson plan. That's not fun. But we've got John with Select Pet.
Hey, John.
And I'm gonna butcher it, but it looks like Spaghetti Nona. Welcome. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. Keeper Kane. Vanoski Fish Kodo. Welcome, welcome.
John, I'll get to your question. I do see it.
Daniel Velez. Nancy B in Tennessee. Good to see y'all. And James H. I think that's everybody in the chat. So I just want to say welcome.
Did you say Sketty Nana?
Yes. I probably
okay. I just wanted to say it.
Yeah, I said spaghetti, but I probably butchered it.
Yeah.
So I apologize for that. Mitch and I are not the best at pronouncing things. If
we're from
East caught on yet.
You got it. We got it. That's how you say it. Hey, we know how to use those words that have letters and then whatever that symbol is that I can't think of, an apostrophe.
Apostrophe.
We use those words all the time. John asked if I knew when the ETA spring swap will be. The date has not been announced. The plan for everything that we do is the second weekend of each month. We will have to eventually work around the University of Tennessee's football schedule. And so, because we're downtown, so we may have to make some changes there. But the swap doesn't have that same problem because we don't do it downtown typically. I don't think we ever will. I'm not going to say ever, but I don't think we will for a while anyway. So that's when I will expect it to be. But if Aquaticon is in April, we definitely want to work around that because not only do we want to attend that, but we want to participate. So, Merry Fishmas, everybody. I see you there, TJ. Oh, Fish Fam Christmas. And while you're here, Fish Fam Christmas, let me do that thing that I need to do. amateur YouTuber here. Got to get over to the studio. I think I was in the studio. And make some changes. I was in the studio.
Looks like we've got Geek Boy. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us. I hope everybody's doing well on this Tuesday night. I know I'm getting tired of the rain. It's been raining like for a week straight here in Nashville, so that's not been the most fun. We had a bit of a reprieve today, but I think it's going to rain tomorrow. So, but I hope everybody's doing well tonight.
Yeah, we had a lot of rain going into this week. For some reason, it wasn't. Oh, there it goes. We had a lot of rain going in this week, but it has cleared up for us. It's not like beautiful out or anything, but no rain. All right, I'm clocking like crazy for some reason. Any other time, oh, there we go. I would just be there. Probably going to crash myself. Oh, I've not had the luck lately.
Welcome, Jerome. I don't know about y'all, but winter is definitely my least favorite time of the year just because of how dark it gets at like 5 o'clock. But I will say, on the other hand, that's the time. Winter's the time I spend the most time with my tanks, so it's kind of a give and a take,
Yeah, that's true. When it warms up, I like to get out and hold on. You're going to hear me. Try to fix that real quick. There we go. All right. Yeah, I like to get out, so I don't spend as much time around my tanks when it gets to summertime. All right, now let me find Fish Fam Christmas. Now that I'm finally in the studio.
Welcome, Eric Wyrock.
There you go. You're now a mod. All right, we're still here, right?
Yes. Looks like John says April.
Hold on.
I can't. John says April is going to be a busy month for him. Then going to Michigan in May for the ALA convention. That sounds like a good. Oh, and I lost the camera.
Yeah, the ALA sounds like a lot of fun. I'm just scrolling up. Tanner will be back. So while, there he is. Okay, so Fish Fam Christmas. We want to address that first. Thank you, everyone, for hanging in there as we get everything situated tonight. It's been one of those crazy days, and just glad to be here, really, to make it. But as far as Fish Fam Christmas, it starts sometime around the 18th. I should have that date, but I don't. And it goes until the first of the year. And during that time frame, it may be during a scheduled live stream or it may be in a pop-up. We will go live and we will be visited by Santa, and Santa will bring gifts. So there'll be a drawing, and I do know what our prizes are. So I can share that. We will be giving away, I believe it's a ticket to the Keystone Clash, as well as there was a name for it. It's the name of your all city, Scotty. There's a bag of some sort with things for the city. That's what I'm guessing it is. I actually don't know yet, but I Googled the name to see, is this a store or what? And it's the name of a city in Pennsylvania. So it's either a store in Pennsylvania or it's your city where you're going to get a prize pack for that trip. So that's awesome. And that was donated to Fish Fam Christmas, and then they are putting everything together with various channels all across the Fish Fam on YouTube in order to be able to share those on live streams. So make sure you are joining those live streams. And I was going to show you real quick. Yeah. Let's go online. I'm going to share. Let's see. I'm going to share a Chrome tab. I'm going to share this one, but I'm going to back up. So if you go to fishfam.link, can everybody see me?
Yes.
Like I'm in a meeting at work. Can everybody see my screen?
Can you
If
see
you,
me?
if you go to fishfam.link and you type in Christmas, this is the easiest way to do it. Any other time I mess it up. And there you go. Click on Fish Fam Christmas 2022, and that takes you to the landing page where all of the information that you need is, as well as a video that you can watch. Watch it some other time. We're not going to watch it right now, but you can watch that video. And if you scroll on down here, you've got rules if you need to know the rules. But here is a list of sign up channels and total donations. And this will open up a file for you, and you can see the channels. And this just lists when they normally do it. But you can go in there and look at what prizes, and also go to, there's great links here that will go to those channels. All right, so you're able to look at what's going to be available, and also where to go. So you can start subscribing to those channels, which is great that Fish Fam is Christmas is doing that as well, so that everyone's able to start subscribing. And as a matter of fact, looking at the channel, 359 as of right now subscribers. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to give a huge shout out to the organizers and the people who run
Yes.
the fishfam.link, because they do an awesome job and are just a great asset to the community. And we really appreciate that. And also all the people who are listed on the channels that are listed on fishfam.link. Go check them out, because they've got some awesome content, and they're a lot of great people.
Yeah,
So
it's a great time. It's a great time to find all these channels and to learn about some new people's hobbies. So that's awesome. Fish Fam Christmas is also saying they'll be posting all the gift packages and channels on their community tab. So if you follow or subscribe to Fish Fam Christmas, you'll be able to see those updates. And I've already been using that to check out what's going on. Even though we did a big like online live stream on Friday, as all the gifts were handed out randomly. It's hard to keep up with everything because there's 49 channels involved.
I want to say welcome to the chat, Gabriel's Glass Boxes. Thanks for joining
Welcome,
us.
Gabriel. Yeah, make sure you're subbed. Make sure you're checking those out. And thank you again to everyone who's worked hard on it. I know it's been a lot of work. It's something like that, 49 channels, trying to get everybody together and get everything going. That's a task, I'm sure. John says maybe I'll win the Keystone ticket. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I
Good
think
thing they don't go on sale.
I've been planning to try and make it to the Clash this coming year. So it's hopefully in the works. It's a bit of a drive, but I would really like to go.
It'd be a fun trip. I'm not saying I'm not going to make it. I'd love to.
I had a free weekend when the Clash was going on this year, and I almost took an impromptu. I was like, you know what, I could just hop in the car and drive. But anyway, it's a great event. I would love to go at some point, hopefully this next coming year.
Fish Fam Christmas says there are 5 Keystone Clash full weekend passes being given away. So that's awesome.
Wow.
Gabriel says, I want the camera set up. Yeah, me too. Yeah. I can't remember what channel. It was the first one handed out. John says, this is the year to go. Anyone in Fish will be going.
Maybe I shouldn't
now
go.
We
then.
have to be there. We have to go.
They may not let me in the door.
Yeah. They're like, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, it is a little bit of a drive, I'm sure, but it would be fun to visit Pennsylvania. Thank you, everyone who's made it out to the chat and for the live stream. We are going to talk about Christmas Let me put that back up there. There we go.
Yeah.
All I Want for Christmas, kind of our theme. We thought we would do a few things different this month as we're preparing for the holiday season and, our own. I don't think we've not even discussed it. I don't think the holidays, we're going to be far enough away from the holidays that we may stream every week. So, but be on the lookout. I'll make sure that there's an update out in the community tab if we're not going to. But for the most part, we're going to be around.
Yeah,
Again,
I think
maybe a pop up.
it kind of hits where, either 5 days away for Christmas or 2 days after staying on our regular schedule. So we could,
Yep.
not miss a stream.
That's what I'm thinking. So I wasn't going to speak for you yet because we hadn't discussed it. I don't know if you're traveling, what's going on, if your computer's going to blow up again.
I hope not. I finally got it worked out. Fingers crossed. But I really like. I just noticed how you changed up the Scruffy City logo.
Yeah.
I like.
You know what? I did that in like 5 minutes.
John says that red and green logo needs a candy cane tetra in it. That would
That's
be cool.
a good idea. In all honesty, the logo is a work in progress. I've been working on, I want something inside the target. And it's most likely going to be a Corey. But I've been practicing kind of sketching. Actually, I think I shared over on my community tab today some sketches that I was doing. And so I'm hoping to work on something and get it in there. I've played around with guppies since I've been kind of into guppies recently, but I don't know that it'll be a guppy. I'm really loving the sword.
And I think Mitch is gone. Oh no. Well, I think I'll finish the sentence for him. He said he was really loving the sword tails. Those are some really cool fish. I got a couple swordtails from John. I hadn't kept swordtails were one of the first fish I kept when I got into the hobby, and I hadn't kept them since. I just got some from John at our past meeting where he spoke on swordtails and platies. And apparently John wants Mitch to stick a picture of me in the logo. I think that would probably push people away from the channel. But looks like we've got Shelby with the Garden of Eden. So welcome. Thanks for joining. Been seeing y'all have had some awesome sales recently and some really good stuff. Hope you're all doing well. Let's see here. Looks like Lady Rorschach is decorating a Christmas tree. We decorated a tree this past weekend, trying to get in the Christmas spirit and finish up all that Christmas shopping that is the bane of my existence. I wonder if we will get Mitch back. Let's see here. Yeah, as Mitch was saying, I think we're going to be able to make every stream around Christmas with our our regular schedule of Tuesday evenings. So that will be nice. Looking forward to that. Going to be traveling some over the holidays back to Knoxville, and we've got Mitch back.
That's another thing that I will have fixed at the beginning of the year. I will have that worked out. I've got some time off work. It's going to happen. It's so random too. Like I'll go all day without trouble, and then some days I'll have trouble. No problem.
It's the Tuesday night curse.
It is. Everybody in my neighborhood must be on. No, I've about determined it has to be on my end, so it's going to require an upgrade. All right. I've added our slide back on. I didn't get to hear what was happening while I was gone. Did you
I
say
was
hi
just
to Eric
yes, I did. I was just
and
rambling,
Shelby?
waiting for you to come back. I had no for whenever you lose connection, every thought in my brain just goes away, and I'm sitting here. I'm like, well, I don't know what I don't know what to say,
Yeah,
dudes. So, anyways, Mitch is back. It's good.
Mitch is back. All right, I'll drive. I can drive this thing. I know where we're going. So welcome everyone. Thank you for being patient. Like I said, I've about determined this is on my end, so I'm going to work. I'm going to look at an upgrade, see if we can fix it. Tonight we are talking about. Did we cover everything? We thanked our mods. We talked about Fish Fam, Christmas. Yeah, that was everything.
Yes, we did, and we've got let's see, Regina Phalanges.
Hey, Regina
Welcome,
Phalanges.
welcome. Pivot.
All right. So slides. We've not. It's been a crazy day. We didn't have an opportunity to talk about this beforehand, so I'm going to kind of tell you what I got. The slides. I started with you, so I went off the notes, and I'll just kind of let you go first, and then I'll pick up after you. Of course, we'll have a conversation. It won't just be you talking. I'm not saying. So the first, what we did is we talked about. We didn't really talk about it much, but we decided all I want for Christmas. If I were getting things for the hobby for Christmas, what would I want? And kind of in the vein of what's something likely that I might ask for, and maybe what's something that I kind of really want but might not happen. Those type of things. And we did fish or inhabitants. I think we both did fish though, and equipment. So I will bring up. I did a quick slides. I apologize if it's horrible. Um, and I did take these from the internet. So this is from dansfish.com. This was not your first one, but it's the one that came up.
Yes, yeah, the Stir-by Cory or Stir-bay Cory. I've always wanted some of these since I've gotten into the hobby, and I've got too many different types of Corys right now.
Yeah.
But it's always a type of Cory that I see, and anytime I see them, I don't have the tank space for them, and I'm like, oh, I'll get them next time, and then next time I go back, they're sold. I'm like, but they're just I think they're almost a staple, like a classic fish. The classic Corydoras is the Stir-by. I know you've got some of them.
Yeah, and they're kind of like a middle price Cory, I think. I mean, I'm sure there's Corys in like the 30s. I don't know of it. There's probably some even higher than that, but they're about $10, $12 right now. They used to be more like 8 or 9, but hold on, the dog. The market currently is a little higher, and but yeah, they're a great fish. We happened to get one very early in the hobby when someone at one of the box stores told us that yeah, you can mix Corys. They love that, and so my daughter fell in love with this little purple fish because it really does look kind of purple, at least on the gravel it did, and yeah, she's still in the tank. She's done well. She's one of our older fish at this point, but I have always wanted to add more, and I did buy an entire school. I think I got 6 because I had one. I got 6, 5 or 6, and I think I've told this story. They were not in good health. I should not have bought them. I thought, you know what? Surely I can bring them back, and I didn't. So I lost them. And then the next time I had an opportunity, I bought another 6, and it was really my fault. It was one of those things, and I see it all the time online. It's one of the things I try to talk with people about. It was one of those things where I saw a little problem and I freaked out and I threw everything at it, and I really just did too much. And so I lost all but one. So I have 2 in my tank. And the plan is when I do increase the number of tanks, I am going to have one with just Stir-by Corydoras. I love that fish. It's gorgeous.
I think they're beautiful. The orange fins, that that pop of color is just stunning. They're a classy fish.
They are.
if we can call fish classy.
The younger one that I have explores the tank a lot. And the older one, she stays in the back. It's usually late in the evening when I can get a good look at her. But the younger one's all over the place. They do stay together and they don't stay with the rest of the Corys all that much. Uh, but the older one, I will say this, she did hang out with, I had Paliatus back then. She did hang out with those. And the only reason why I haven't done more of them, because actually one of my local stores is getting tank raised Sturby, whatever, corridors. They're getting tank raised, and they look great every time I go in there and see them. But I haven't gotten them because I do have all the green Corys now, and so I don't want to keep throwing Corys in that tank. And I don't know the 75. I'll need to look at temperature and stuff. I know there's a little bit of difference on the Sturby and Sturby and others. I've got to look that up and find out how to say it sometimes, so I quit correcting. And even if I know it, I'll say it both ways every time. I think everybody calls them Sturby.
I call them Sturby, but
Sturby. Okay, maybe it's Sturby.
I could be wrong, but yeah, I'm kind of at the same spot. I'm kind of with the current tanks that are set up. I'm like almost maxed out on fish, so I just need to do some rearranging, and I've got several more tanks I'm setting up, and then that's when it's going to be like I'm getting into it. I'm going to be getting a lot of these fish.
Look, you learn something every day.
What's that?
I turned up my screen and now I'm brighter. I realized, wait, my screen's not all the way brighter. Yeah, here we go. There's the dog. All right, I'm gonna bring your slide up. Let's see, and then I'm gonna go take care of the dog.
Yeah, so I think this was one of the other fish that I was looking at, and I've wanted for a long time is some Apistogrammas. I really like the Apistogramma cockatoides, and then the Borellii. Those are I really the cockatoides I think they're the triple reds, are a little more colorful than I like or would prefer, but like the Borellii.
Talking about this one's more colorful.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking of the triple reds maybe that are just crazy looking. I think this guy, I guess that may be a cockatoides.
I think it is when I looked it up because I wasn't sure which one. I Googled based off the name you put on there because I don't know my pistos at all. I know one when I see one, but I don't know the difference. I do know what's the one with the B, Borellii.
Borellii, I think it's Boreli.
Curtis has those. He's been breeding those. So our friend Curtis actually, you heard it here first. Actually, you may not have. If you were at Sunday's meeting, you may have already heard this. But the April meeting is going to be on Apistos, so Apistogrammas. That will be our topic, and Curtis is bringing that presentation. So if you're in the area, you should check that out. I did a chasing squirrels today. I did a poll recently, and the most requested thing that people would like to hear us talk more about is clubs. So we'll keep sticking club stuff in there as we go. But yeah, our club will be doing Apistos in January, and I'm looking forward to that. I know he's had some success with those. He's been really excited.
Yeah, I think I talked to him a while back after he had his first spawn about maybe getting some of those Borellii. I've got a 120 I'm setting up, and I'd like to put a pair in there. But yeah, I really like the Apistos. I first got into the dwarf cichlids really with the Crevensis, and I love those. And I've always wanted to be a Apistogramma. So that's another fish, kind of a bucket list, or that's a fish I would like to get within the next year, I guess I would say.
Yeah, and I guess it's the next fish that I was thinking of that I had to type in the long name. And once I typed it in and kind of sounded it out, I knew what it was. But first looking at it, I was like, did a key stick? Did keys start sticking while I was typing? What is this mess?
Did I have a stroke?
What's going on? Yeah, so that's one for you. So
Yes.
there's two. You had one more, and I'm just looking through the chat real quick because I see a conversation about somebody got some stir buys. We're calling it stir by officially stir buys.
It looks like Regina got the stir buys, I
Oh,
believe.
cool,
Yes. Lost one, treated the rest, and they're doing great. That's fantastic.
awesome,
I
awesome.
love
You
that.
know, I've heard they're a hardy fish, and I think it's just been my experience. I've spoken with multiple people who are like, "What? You had trouble with stir buys?" So it's just me. Maybe I shouldn't get into them. Need to do some more research apparently before I get any more. Let's go to your next fish. Unless you were going to talk about a pisto some more.
No, we can move on.
Oh, you know what? Never mind. I did get it that picture. I just didn't get it into into it. Shell dwellers. That's
Yeah,
the next one. Shell
the
dwellers.
multifasciatus, or I think with the Neolamprologus multifasciatus.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree.
but the shell dwellers,
That's
I
what
was
I would do.
actually talking with John this past club meeting that
Would
he
that be
was at,
Select Pet
spoke
John?
at. Select Pet John. He's got a group of the multis, I believe, and I think they're a really cool fish. The multis are kind of like a community breeding. They each have their own little shells. Just really cool, and kind of I'm to the point where I've kept a lot of different community fish.
Hmm.
Your staple tetras, cories, things like that. I'm kind of wanting to branch out and get some new experience. Like later in this year, I started keeping, a couple killifish, and those have been cool. So I really just want to kind of get into cichlids a little bit more. But the shell dwellers are kind of a good little stepping stone, and I think they're beautiful fish. I think there's also I think John was saying there's the gold ocellatus. I
Hmm.
may be mispronouncing, but they're a little bit more aggressive, if I
Okay.
understand correctly. So, but those multis are just really cool, and I like how they go in and out of the shells.
Were you at the club meeting where we did a spotlight on them and gave some away?
I think I was,
Yeah. So
and I've
Kane did the
seen them.
spotlight.
Yes, yes, I believe I was at that one.
Keeper Kane.
I've always liked them, but I just haven't had a tank for them. But I
Yeah.
think I've got one now. So
Yeah, that's something, since everybody wants to talk about clubs, that's something that we do at the ETAA as well. We try to do a spotlight. So the spotlight may be a member. We may have a member share about their hobby. One of our more recent spotlights on a member was Dave, Basement Dave. I don't know if Dave's here or not, but Basement Aquatics Dave. And so he did that. We also do plants. We'll do spotlights on plants, spotlights, and then fish. And so we did have shell dwellers, and Keeper Kane had so many. He was like, "Yeah, let's do shell dwellers so I can share some." And he brought some, and yeah, somebody went home with them. I don't know who took them. But they go on the table, and the giveaway, I've talked about that before. So everybody gets a ticket when you come in, and then we draw tickets, and you get to go to the table and pick something. So it was really cool. Somebody got some, and they are a cool fish. I saw Eric Wyrock said that Cockatoides Super Red are amazing. The male's almost always stunning, and the female looks great too when spawning.
yeah, I've never kept them before, and I've only seen them maybe once in stores. There's not many Apista grama near that I've seen in local stores near me. They're very few and far between,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yep. And I saw Regina Phalange says, I say stir by. Yeah, that's how I used to say it, and I feel like somebody at one of the local stores corrected me, and that's when I started going, I don't know which one it is, because I would call it buy. All right. So sorry, I don't have a picture for shell dwellers. I
Oh,
do
that's
have the
fine.
picture. It's right there on my desktop. It's just not in. It's just not in the presentation. So the next thing that we had, you know what? Let's break it up. Hold on.
Yeah,
We'll break it up. I'll do fish.
yeah, that
Um,
works.
yeah. The
Let's see here.
this puppy, I tell you, he's so funny. Anyway, um, let me pull this up. So I also obviously I feel like it should be obvious. I had stir by on my list as well. I didn't add another sheet another image, but I really would like to have a school of them, and I hope to one day. Oh, there's your shell dwellers
There they are.
that just got a little mixed up. Okay. This was one that I don't know that I would have said was on my list until recently. I saw this fish. This is the orange Venezuelan Cory, and I saw this I mean, I feel like it was just a week ago. And then last night, Bob Steenfot had it on his live stream where he was looking around at dansfish.com and looking at various fish that he's starting to breed Corys. And so he was picking out the Corys he's going to start with. And that was a lot of fun. But this fish, I like those Venezuelan blacks. And that's kind of high on my list too. But when I saw this fish, I was just like, yeah, that orange, that's captured me. I need
Yeah,
that.
those are. I have not seen those in person before. It looks like they're in the same, I guess, family as the black Venezuelans. They're a color variant, so sort of like the
I bet they are.
Aeneas, because it looks
Yeah.
like they're the Schultzi Corys.
Okay.
Is kind of the species, and it looks like the black Venezuelan are also a Schultzi. So I'd say that they could probably cross. Not that you'd probably want them to, because I know both
Yeah.
are
Don't want that.
fairly uncommon. But those are beautiful fish. I've seen the another fish that I've seen or type of corridor is the orange laser. You don't see those too often, and they're pretty cool as well. Looks like Lady Rorschach has some of the orange Venezuelans.
Oh yeah. That's cool. All right. Here's the puppies. Regina Flanges, I believe, asked, what kind of puppy? He is a high-end mutt is what he is, and he's spoiled. So we have a lot of allergies. So when we decided to get the kids a dog, we had to go for something. We had to find someone who met our criteria on our allergies. So there's a percentage there. He's mostly a Yorkshire Terrier, but he's also a Shih Tzu. I think it's just like 1/8. So it's not a lot. He mostly looks like a Yorkie, except he's got the underbite of a Shih Tzu. So, but yeah, a lot of Yorkie in that guy. Yeah, and he's got the beautiful steel gray coat. I love it. At first, I didn't think I would like it. And what was funny was he was mostly black. We got him at 8 weeks. We actually picked him out a week after they were born. He was the runt. He was the little one, and so we got to watch him grow up until we got him. But he was mostly black with a little bit of like a reddish brown, and he started growing that silver hair that's on his top of his head, and it really looked like he was going bald for a while. He had that awkward teenage stage when he was a few months old. Yeah, Nancy B says that should be the Corey for your logo, and I have messed around with the idea of doing it like a white and orange.
That would be
just,
cool.
just make my own thing. But yeah, the orange Venezuelans, put them back up so everybody can admire them. Uh, that that's like top of my list right now. That is the fish I would like to have. It's going to take a tank though before anything like that could happen. But yeah, that's number one. Let's see, number two. This is one these are common, right? They're not common to me. I haven't seen them a lot, but this is Odessa barbs.
Yeah, I've seen them pretty fairly common, I would
Yeah,
say.
that's what I thought.
They're
Um,
cool fish though.
I want to give credit from where I get the pictures. So this was from Dan's. And I actually wrote down where I got yours. It was imperialtropicals.com, the shell dwellers. Um, but yeah, not that we're endorsing them. That's just where the picture came from. It's their picture. But yeah, I love this fish. And anytime I've seen them, I've been pretty mesmerized by them. So I would like to have some of these in a tank. And yes, I do know they eat plants, so it would take. But see, that's part of the fun in me considering them is that it would stretch me a little bit. I'd have to do things differently from what I'm used to doing, and I feel like that could be fun. Everybody's like, get the orange Venezuelans. You should get the orange Venezuelans.
Those would be cool. Yeah. On the note of them eating plants, I was in my local store a while back and I was looking at the cherry barbs. They've got
Yeah.
that real red body. I was like, those are beautiful. I was like, you know what? I want to get some. So I was talking to the guy that normally helps me out. He was there, and I was like, "What do you think about those cherry barbs?" And he was like, "In your tank, no." I was like, "What? What do you mean?" He's like, "Listen, I had a patch, a little, row of the pink flamingo crypts. Added
Okay.
some in. He said they ate them in like 2 days
Oh
before he
wow.
noticed. So I was like, nope, not getting
Yeah.
those. Can't do that.
And I like cherries too. I've seen some just absolutely gorgeous cherries at some of the
Yeah,
local stores. And yeah, I know there are some barbs that are aren't as bad, but I don't know them well. I've actually Curtis and I have had some conversations about barbs because he does the whole breeding barbs in a 5 gallon bucket.
the bucket.
Um, yeah, so we've had some conversations about barbs because they do kind of grab me. It's a fish that I've never had. I was always afraid of tiger barbs because I had always heard, they terrorize everything. They're gonna pick at everything. So yeah, I think I'd like to do some barbs.
When I was a kid, my parents had a tank. It's actually this. It's the same size as the tank behind me. It was a 55 gallon. And, they had the typical pleco and community fish, but they had tiger barbs. And I always loved them, and I've never kept them since I started keeping my own tanks. I don't just because I know they can be a little bit aggressive, but it's probably something I need to keep in the future and try because I've always thought they're beautiful. Like the
They
green
are.
tiger barbs are
Hmm.
stunning.
Yeah, they are. They are. And I saw, was it Lady Rorschach that said the greens have been capturing her? Where's that? Yeah, I am personally falling for the green barbs. I did
Yeah,
see those today when I was looking for a picture for these. They do look good. Jeremy, welcome to the chat. Get them from Gary Lang. Is that about the barbs or the Yorkie? Following the
except
chat sometimes when we're having a conversation it becomes difficult.
yes, looks like TJ Autocross said to check out the snakeskin barbs. I just looked those up and they are stunning. I
Oh
have
yeah,
never seen these before. Really cool
oh
little
yeah, they are.
fish.
It's kind of like a tiger, but slightly different.
It's like a tiger, but the stripes are hollow.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's cool. All right. So that's our fish. I don't think we got too crazy. I think we've got some things that, we probably aren't going to have soon, but we probably will keep at some point.
Yeah, I think when I was thinking about the fish I was choosing, I was like, could I realistically keep these within, the next couple months to a year? And I was like, yeah, I can probably do that.
And I meant to do this with the chat. I was going to ask, what are yours? You've been thinking about it while we've been discussing this. What are some fish that you wish you could get for Christmas? So, black skirt tetras to help control the copepods in my shrimp tank. They're doing great. Yeah, those are good looking too. I love tetras. There's
Yeah,
so many that and just like a big school of cardinals is just mesmerizing to
Yeah.
me. I just love to watch it.
At one of our last club meetings, we actually had a member show up with some black skirt tetras that they had accidentally bred, and that was
Oh,
really cool. I had not seen that before, so that was very cool.
yeah. Yeah, I've never so only live bears and now the green cories. So
Yeah.
and some shrimp. Actually, at the sometime during first quarter, I should get my plaque for my five species in the bat program.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, getting there. Oh, I'm completely off topic while we wait on people to add some stuff in the chat. I've got mail coming tomorrow. Did I tell you?
I think you told me. I'm assuming
Yeah.
I know what it is.
Yeah. So this past weekend, wasn't it this weekend? The Garden of Eater, they
Yes.
had their 4,000 subscriber live stream, and they were doing a lot of giveaways in that. And I won one of the giveaways, and it was actually for, I want to say it was red pinto cardenas. Um, and I can't do that. I would love to, and I hated saying that I couldn't take those because I really thought about it for a little bit. But I don't have the setup. I've never done it, and I would hate to mess up on those.
Yeah.
So I was like, I shouldn't. I shouldn't take these. So I'm getting some blue diamond shrimp. I'm looking forward to those. They should be here tomorrow. So I should be
Yeah.
filming an unboxing from them.
Awesome. Those are some really good looking shrimp.
Yes, they are. Let's see. Congo Tetras are next on my list. TJ, I almost put them on my list. There are, oh, chat moved on me. There are some Congo. I was showing them to Tanner when he was in Knoxville and we were at Aquatic
Yeah.
Marine.
Those are
They've got this
beautiful.
cylinder tank and they've got these giant Congo Tetras that I feel like they're too big for my 75 though. Is the only reason why I didn't put them on my list. I feel like they need a bigger tank. Now those may be older. They're huge.
Those are definitely older because those are real big. Um, but now you've got me thinking I might put some of those in the 120 when it's up and going
Yeah.
because
If I had a 120, I
the
would.
the only thing that's difficult to do is they're so expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
they're an expensive tetra. They're like 15 to 20 bucks around here.
Yeah.
But they are. I mean, they get that beautiful kind of orange and blue iridescence, and the males with their flowing fins, they're
Yep.
stunning.
I agree, TJ. It was like I had it on the list and I was like, but I wouldn't have a place that I would want to put them, so I'm not going to say that. Which, I don't have a place for the orange Venezuelans right now, but it's more likely that I would. Um, Jeremy says Hans discus. Now I am not familiar with discus. I got to let the dog in, so I'm coming right back.
Yeah, I've at the store I used to work at. I helped with the discus some, but they're still kind of a mystery to me. But I do think they're beautiful. They've got some incredible colors on them, but I just don't have the type of setup, and I believe they require some pretty warm water, which I don't typically keep. I don't stay on that higher end of water, and also size of tank. But they are some beautiful fish that I'd love to keep at some point.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. I don't know. It's kind of like the Cardenas. I think I don't know when I would be at the point in the hobby where I'd be ready for them. Man, I hated passing on those pintos. I thought about it. I was like, they don't need a lot of tank space.
You could have done probably a 10-gallon.
Yeah, just got some. I'd have to keep RO water because our water's so.
Yeah, and it's just a bit more difficult because you do have to you keep RO, but you have to remineralize.
Yeah.
And I'm not that's as far as I've looked into it because I
Yep.
just
Yeah.
I'd rather keep my easy shrimp that live in my sump and I don't even have to.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And in the 25, those blue shrimp that I have, they were hidden for a long time. I was like, I'm kind of worried about them, but I started getting pictures of them the other night.
Yeah, that text you sent me, I was like, "What am I looking at here?" And then
Yeah.
after I said what's there, and I zoomed in, I was like, "Oh, there's a shrimp there." And you sent me the circle, and I was like, "That's awesome."
Yeah. All right. So if anybody wants to throw any out in the chat, you can. We're going to move on because it's time for us to end. And your equipment. This was number one for you on your equipment.
Yes, this is a light that I've had my eyes on. I believe Cassandra has one in the club. It's the Chihiros WRGB 2 Pro. I have the WRGB 2, but the Pro just has a lot more customization options, as well as a higher luminosity. So it's just like a super good light, and they are pricey, but I would say the Chihiros light that I have is by far the best light I've ever bought. Um, I've had it almost just shy of a year now, and it's still going perfect. So I would like to get one of these within the next year, but it is an investment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I understand. I've heard great things, but that they're expensive. That's what I've heard from everyone. Hello, Mountain Greenery. Welcome to the chat.
Welcome, welcome.
All right, and there's the
They're
shell
back.
dwellers. Oh, was that it? Was that all the pictures I had for you? You had something else.
I think I put on there an auto top
Oh,
off.
yeah, I didn't have a picture for that. I
Yeah,
was like,
so
I could grab something, but you want me to just put some PVC pipe in a photo and
those of you that know me know that several of my tanks run off of sumps, and it can be kind of a pain if I go away for the weekend or, a week to have somebody come and top everything off. So I've really been wanting to get an auto top off. They're more common in reef tanks to maintain more consistent salinity and other parameters. But as
Mhm.
far as the salt water, it's just to keep the sump from running dry. I think all it really consists of is a level sensor and a float switch, pretty much.
Mhm.
But that would just be it would be something to make my life easier.
Yeah. Now, so this is just to deal with evaporation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, essentially it's a separate, couple gallon reservoir separate from the tank, and once water drops below the level where I have the little switch set, then it pumps water into the sump.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would be handy. For sure. Anytime we can make it a little bit easier on stuff like that, especially when you're away. I remember the first time that I was away and I decided because I was only going to be away for 7 days. I was like, okay, no feeding block, nobody going over. We're just going to do this.
Yeah.
And everybody was good. But I did have that little bit of worry.
Oh yeah, it's definitely if I go away for 3 to 4 days, I'm like, they're fine. I feed every day. They don't eat every day in the wild. They're fine. But
Right.
once I hit about that 7 day mark, just because of my own anxiety, I like to have
Yeah.
somebody pop in and say, all right, there's no water in the floor. We're good. But with the sumps, before 7 days is up, I have to have them topped off just because
Yeah.
they will run dry. So that's why I want that auto top off to be able to kind of give me a little bit more buffer.
Okay. All right. So there's your equipment. I'm gonna go through mine very quickly because we should be out of here. I want to try this. I want to try Aquarium Co-op's new light. Not sponsored. I've been following it for a while. The Chronicles of the Aquarium Co-op light, which is still not available because they still can't get it shipped to them. I did hope that it was a possibility for this Christmas, but not going to happen, and that's okay. I do want to try a 48 on the 75 and see if lighting has been my issue. Because I do believe this light will do a good job. And I'm sure I've toyed with the idea of just going and getting a shop light and testing it against my night crew. Um, but I feel like this would be a good investment and something that I'm leaning towards. The price is like middle of 3.0 and you know, you know, your other I don't want to go. I guess your value lights that you find online, like my Nikuru.
I will say I've been interested in the co-op light, but in my mind, not to get too controversial, between the Nikuru lights versus like say the Chihiros lights,
Uh-huh.
most stuff in between, in my opinion, not really worth getting because the
Yeah,
Nikuru does a great job. Like the Fluval lights,
yeah.
they're okay, but they don't put out a ton of light
Oh, talking
compared
about the
to.
3.0.
I haven't had the three. Don't I've had the 2.0.
Okay, okay.
So I'm saying from a little bit. I've had Phoenix, Fluval, Nikuru. You know, I've had the Fluval skies. But anyways, I think that once you hit that middle range, it might be good enough. Just go to add on a little
Just
bit
go high.
more. Just
Yeah,
go high end.
and I don't think they're marketing this to be a highlight. It's supposed to be medium. I think is top out, um, because it is more. They do. Their whole thing is the easy and trying to stick with easy plants and easy green and all that. So it is something I want to try though. I would love to have an opportunity to try it, and I don't know. I might get one. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
whenever they come out, I'm probably gonna buy one.
Yeah, and if the light on the 25 were to go out, that's what I would get for sure because it's less of an investment to try that. The 48's about 150, I think, is what they have it marked at. So, and then I was on the site, so I went ahead and took the picture of theirs. I'm not saying necessarily that it has to be theirs, but I do want to do CO2. So that was something that would be on my list. I've looked at a number of different ones in various price ranges, and I hear you don't have to spend all the money to get something good on this, but yeah, I'd like to do CO2 on the 75.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Um, Looking at all the regulators I've looked at, the F zone, the CO2
Yeah.
art, the aquarium co op, if you look at them, they're almost identical as far
Yep.
as the dual stage go. So
Mhm.
just like you were saying, get a reputable brand, but you don't have to go buy the $400 regulator. As long as
Yeah.
it's dual stage, you're good.
Yeah, I think this one, I think they're selling it for like 120. So
That
it's a little bit more than some of the ones I've been looking at, but I don't know. I've had some people tell me that, there's for the price you can get pretty good under that. So I don't know. We'll see.
the nice thing about the co-op one is it looks like you can add on multiple manifold blocks.
It is that, and they sell those as well, so you can buy them.
So that's worth it in itself because
Yeah.
I've got the CO2. I've got the CO2 art ones. I've got the regular and the pro. The regular is just one um,
Yeah.
output, but the pro is basically the co-op one where you can add multiple blocks. Adding the multiple tanks is you don't think you're going to use it,
Right.
but it's nice to have the option because you will end up using
For when I put the shelf over the 75 and start going up.
it.
I think it was John. I don't know if he's still here. I think it was John that was like, "Hey, if you were to do CO2, you could run it over to that rack of tanks you were thinking about doing too." And I was like, "No, I can't because there's a walkway. Like I've thought about this. This is something that I considered. There's a walkway. I wouldn't be able to do that. So, but I might I might leave the 75 as is and maybe put the CO2 on the rack is what I'm
Yeah,
leaning towards because those tanks won't be as tall because they're just going to be 20 longs. And that's something I think would be a lot of fun.
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
CO2 is definitely really fun to play around with. I've got a couple tanks on CO2, a couple without it, and it's
Yeah.
just really one thing that's nice is actually the tank behind me. I ran CO2 on for a while, got the plants to grow in real well, and then tapered CO2 off, and I've
Hmm.
had zero algae, like
Yeah.
zero. and the plants are looking great. Don't grow as
Right.
fast anymore, but I don't have to trim as much, which is nice.
Yeah. Regina Flange says that she did not like the F zone regulator, found it to be unreliable. CO2 arts regulators have worked like a charm for over a year and a half. And I've heard great things about both of those. I know people who run the F zone and love it. That was the one, that's probably the one that's been recommended to me the most,
Hmm.
has been the F zone. And so, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I will say I've got 3 CO2 art regulators, and I've,
Yeah.
knock on wood, I've not had an issue with any of them. 2
Yeah.
of them used, one of them brand new, and I've had them for well over a year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I
Yeah.
mean, they're all using similar components. I mean,
Right.
if you look at across the board at all the regulators, they look pretty similar design.
Yeah, I have seen some of them have far less metal and more plastic. So I'm staying away from those. That's a no-no. If I see a bunch of
Yeah.
plastic on it, I'm staying away from those. Those are the
So
$40 ones.
yeah, you want it to be like, I mean, when you pick it up, you want it to have some weight to
Some heft to it. Yeah,
it.
agreed.
That makes you feel good about it.
All right. Well, that's been just okay, we'll talk. We'll talk. But it's unreliable. Uh, yeah, we'll chat. Thank you, everyone. Let me put this back up. So thank you for joining us in our chat for All I Want for Christmas. Have you asked for anything for your aquariums this year to
Um,
anybody?
I have asked for some test kits.
Okay.
And also, one thing I've asked for is the 2-hour Aquarist fertilizer. Both I can't remember the line names, but basically a lean dosing and an EI
Yeah.
method. Have not tried those before, and I would like to. So
Okay.
that's about it.
Yeah. I didn't. I didn't have anything that I needed at the moment that I don't already have access to. What is he doing? We got to go. That's it. That's the end of the stream. No, thank you everybody for coming out. I
Thank you.
appreciate you hanging out with us and joining in the conversation. And hope you all have a great season and a great week. And
Yep.
hopefully we see you next week. If not, a pop up
Yes.
in between, or maybe after that, we'll see. Just be random. Go to fishfam.link, look up FishFam Christmas, and start subscribing to all the channels you can so that you can win some amazing prizes. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everyone in the chat. And not said it, thank you for those of you on the replay. We appreciate you watching this. Everyone, have a good evening. Enjoy your tanks.
Keep it scruffy.
I like that. That's better.